Talk, shop, pop, movies.
Ahoy there, this is Derek, the Convicted Cinephile, and if you're a convicted cinephile yourself, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel down below. On my channel, I like to talk, shop, and pop open, that is, movies and physical media. And today I have a haul video. I got some movies, I got some collectibles, and I got some books. So that's something different, right? A couple of these things I've done videos on before, so I'm going to go over them just briefly. But yeah, I thought I'd include the collectibles in this because Collectors Club and all that nonsense. Collectors Club merchandise is now on sale at the Convicted Cinephile teepublic store. Let's get into it. What should we do first? Let's do the things that are closest to me, because that makes sense. I recently did a video, an unboxing video from Severin Films, so I'll just go over this briefly. For the extraterrestrial video visitors, I talk good, Blu-ray that came, this movie is ridiculous. I recommend watching it. I don't recommend spending money on it unless you love it in a strange way, the same way I do. But this is obviously a ripoff of E.T. the Extraterrestrial, and it is very foreign and hilarious. So it's a fun one. It's also called Pod People for all you Mystery Science Theater fans out there. And not only did I get the Blu-ray, I could have lived without that immediately, but it came with a plush Trumpy, and I just had to have a Trumpy, because Trumpy does magic things. He also does stupid things. And it came with an I'm a Virgin t-shirt, which, that's the kind of merch you add to things that make it irresistible. And I also grabbed this Changeling ball from Severin as well, so there's the logo. Because it was on clearance, and it was on a couple bucks, so I thought, that's cool. I like the Changeling. That's a fun little thing to have in front of you. Next, I'll do the collectibles, well, beyond the Trumpy. I hate how this thing is built. You'll see what I mean. Guess what that is. But I grabbed the Toonie Terrors Jaws and Quint figure, which came out a couple years ago, and I sort of was like sad I missed out on it, because my kid and I sort of collect these together. And by sort of, I mean my kid and I collect these together. I love this one, though. But this is the shark fin, that extra piece, and it just sits on there. It doesn't, like, snap in or anything, so it's literally just balances on there when it's on a shelf. Very stupid design as far as they go. But you get Quint here separate, so you can have him in the shark's mouth or not, and he comes with his little machete and his little spear here, so that's kind of cool. Harpoon, there's the word, right? So maybe, just for shits and giggles, I'll put the extra fin in his mouth so it doesn't get lost, but there it is. Sans fin. I love that one. It's adorable. Now I gotta figure out where to put it. Alright, next. I got that when I was out of town in Iowa recently. Alright, exciting. Then I went to a comic book store. There's a really cool comic book store in Ames, Iowa called Mayhem Comics. And every year I go there, I have to visit it, even if I don't end up buying anything, just because they have really cool stuff to look at. And I'm not a huge pop figure guy, but they had one I couldn't resist. This is a character I, for some reason, was always obsessed about as a kid. I used to have these comic books that were like encyclopedias, essentially, of characters from the DC universe. But there was a character called Composite Superman, and I always thought it was the most weird thing ever. And I found a Composite Superman exclusive, what's this exclusive? Entertainment Earth exclusive pop figure. So he's half Batman, half Superman. So usually I don't keep things in boxes, but I have so few of these, I figured this one I would. Here, I'll give you the side shot. It's probably less glary. So that's what he looks like. He's like a little green alien guy who is half Batman and half Superman. I always thought that was the coolest thing when I was like 5 years old. So I had to grab that. I have two books. This one I also got at that comic book store. And my son and I have recently become obsessed with Weird Al. I introduced him to it, and he fell in love with Weird Al. His like favorite thing ever is UHF. He knows all of his music by heart, and just by happenstance, I glanced over at a shelf, and this was staring at me. So I had to get this illustrated Al graphic novel which is essentially a bunch of his songs and parts of his songs turned into a comic book. It's mostly his original songs, not his parody songs. So that's Trigger Happy every day, happy every day. And there's a Fat picture, because they don't have the Fat story, but they have, you know, artwork showing you Fat. They got a Smells Like Nirvana picture in there. But yeah, it's hilarious. They have like Albuquerque, which is like an 11.5-minute long song put into graphic novel form. So I couldn't not buy that when I saw that. And then this is actually from a buddy of mine, and it's right up my alley. I did a video showing all of my trading cards like a million years ago, and this is a book for the 1992 X-Men trading card series. So if you like these cards, but you don't want to go out and collect them all, you can grab this book. So it's all the beautiful Jim Lee artwork for every single card in the series. Front and back of each card on each page. So there's the front of Sabretooth, and there's the back of Sabretooth. And there you got Mojo. This is my favorite. They even got the holograms in there. Now that is cool. But yeah, it's an interesting book. And holy buckets, I didn't even see that. It's got cards in the back. I didn't even notice that before. I looked through this thing. I didn't even see those. So that's cool. And even the inside sleeve artwork is beautiful. I love Jim Lee's X-Men. This is peak X-Men right here. Absolutely. All right, and I have a local comic book store called Source Comics and Games, which has been around for years, and I just don't go there often enough. They have really cool stuff. Like they got these big statues. I saw like a $700 Army of Darkness statue that if I was insane, I would have bought. But, you know, I'm cheap. And but I did see my favorite comic book character in a little poster, so I can frame this up and hang it in here somewhere. It is an Incredible Hulk comic book cover. Hulk number 181, where it's him fighting Wolverine. So it's the first cover appearance of the Wolverine character, pre-X-Men. I think this is 1 year before the giant size X-Men comic book started. I love me some Hulk, if you can't tell already. Alright, so this one's goofy. Here's the movies, finally. I haven't got a lot recently. A lot of them are like thrift pickups and just random stuff. I grabbed this at the Half Price Books for $3. Time to Kill, Pelican Brief, and the Client. I already have a Time to Kill. I grabbed it right here just for example's sake. So it was like $3. That's worth it for the other two movies that I've never seen. I didn't really look at it closely. Luckily, it has the Client and Pelican Brief discs, but it's missing the disc for A Time to Kill. Lucky for me, I already had that one, so, you know, I'm an idiot, but it still worked out. The same day, I also found this Scream 4K Steelbook that everyone else already has. This was, I think, $10, so I was like, hell yeah, I'll grab that. It even had the J card inside of it and the digital copy. That's crazy. So glad to have that. I'm a very casual Scream fan. This is the only one I've ever really loved, and even then, it's not my favorite. Definitely worth a $10 Steelbook 4K. Again in Iowa, I went to a secondhand children's store that typically sells like crappy toys and old baby clothes, but they have a few movies there, and I happened to find the Ernest 2-film Mill Creek pack with Ernest Goes to Camp and Ernest Goes to Jail, which I know is not the easiest thing to find. I know it's expensive new, but I mean, if you find it used, it's not that expensive. But I got it for a couple of bucks, so that was awesome. I have not seen these movies in at least 30 years, so I'm excited to eventually watch those with my kid and see if he can tolerate Jim Varney the way I used to. We'll do my Goodwill, Dollar Tree. I finally bought Blu-rays at Dollar Tree because my Dollar Tree never has Blu-rays. I literally work next door to one, and it never has movies. But this time I got 3. I grabbed Hardcore Henry, which just looked cool. I mean, definitely looked interesting enough to get for $1. This one I heard good things about, and it's a dark comedy, and I'm a fan of those. The Art of Self-Defense with Jesse Eisenberg, and I always forget his other name. I'm like, it's very Italian. Alessandro Nivola and Imogen Poots. Alessandro is in Face Off in Jurassic Park 3. And then I grabbed Get Hard with Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell. I saw this one in theaters, and I remember liking it enough to buy it for $1.25. I like Will Ferrell. Kevin Hart hadn't gotten obnoxious at this point yet, so hopefully I can watch it again and not be irritated by him. But for $1.25, what the hell? And the last cool thing I grabbed, which I was going to make an unboxing video about, and I totally forgot to do it for some reason, was I grabbed the Blood for Dracula 4K. It was on sale on Amazon. God, this is probably 4 weeks ago now, at least. For like $23, and it's usually like $30 plus. It was like 70-something% off if it's original price. And this is another Severin film. I like it. I think I mentioned in the unboxing of my Extraterrestrial Visitors that I've only owned 4 Severin titles, and 3 of them I bought in the last like week or two. So I'm gonna open this now because I forgot to do it. I've never seen this or Flesh for Frankenstein, and I've owned that for over a year. I mainly wanted to get this just so I could have them together because they're the same filmmaker, same actor, and same concept sort of thing. So you got Blood for Dracula and Flesh for Frankenstein. I wanted to see them both. Okay, so it's a decent, it's not a, I wouldn't call it a hard box, but it's not a floppy box. And that's just beautiful, that artwork on the inside. And I think there's a standard version of this. This is like the fancy 3-disc version. So I'm glad I was able to get this for such a decent price. It's got a little card in there. Yep, so here it is. You got the 4K disc there, the Blu-ray disc, and the soundtrack on compact disc. So that's something you don't see every day. Severin is actually really cool, or so it seems, about having soundtracks in their Blu-ray and 4K sets, because the Extraterrestrial Visitors also has a soundtrack sampler in it. So if this thing pops up again at the price I got it for, please get it. It's a very cool set. The MSRP is like $60. It was on sale for, I want to say, $23 when I grabbed it. And even a couple hours later, it was already not available for that price on Amazon. And when I got it, it was still back ordered like at least a week. So it took a couple weeks for me to get it. That's everything. Here's the little stack of movies, mostly thrift and pickups, with the exception of the Severin titles. And a couple of cool books. And most importantly, a Trumpy. Because Trumpy can do stupid things. Once again, my name is Derek, the Convicted Cinephile. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And check out my newly commissioned, as if I paid someone to do it, designs on teepublic at the Convicted Cinephile store. I would appreciate it if you took a gander at those. There'll be more coming up soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Shop, pop, movies.